Hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of EDW HQ. I'm your host, the EDW Insider Karl Jones, and I'd like to introduce you to my permanent co-host, none other than...
Here I am! Rock you like a hurricane! Don't be scared, people. This isn't an hallucination, this isn't a mirage, this isn't even a dream. Although for most people out there this probably is a dream come true, because this is the return of the Kingmaker, the most influential individual in the history of EDW. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Templeton Cruz, and I'm f***ing back.
A dream for many.
Don't worry about the swearing, Karl, it's recorded, they can bleep over it. Go on.
A dream for many perhaps, I'm not so sure about myself personally. Though I would like to say, it is quite good to see you. It's been a while since we last talked.
Almost a year, Karl.
Almost a year, in fact. And if I remember rightly, the last time I saw you, you were having your ass kicked by Thomas Campbell. Yeah, that's right. Didn't he drag you out of the arena on all fours?
Jason White, Disney.
Please let me back in!
No, that's not correct, Karl. However, let me indulge you and regale you in a story of the last year for Templeton Cruz. You see, almost 12 months ago, the Players Club forced to disband. Without a talent to manage, Templeton Cruz cast off into the wilderness. It was a sad time for us all, I agree. However, Tom Campbell did perpetrate the crime of the century against Templeton Cruz and the Players Club, but he wasn't alone in that crime. I agree, he wasn't alone. In fact, for a long time I was quite the bitter man. In fact, I blamed pretty much the entire EDW roster, friends and foes, for my horrible, horrible, horrible incarceration, you may say. That's the way I see it, incarceration in life. Anyway, we go back maybe 6 months. I realised that I'd accomplished everything anyone could ever want to accomplish in this industry. And at that moment I decided, no, I'm not going to return to the active roster as a manager. I'm going to retire. So right here, right now, Templeton Cruz officially announces he's retired. And then one day, EDW releases this t-shirt. It's even on the bloody banners, for Christ's sake. Unbeknownst to the EDW faithful and probably most of the locker room, I came up with this t-shirt. This t-shirt was my bloody idea. And I'm gone for a year, and what does Tom Campbell and the rest of the cronies do? They market it and make money off my good name. So what does any self-respecting human being do? I sued their asses with the finest Jewish lawyer money could pay for. Tom Campbell obviously lost the lawsuit. Tom Campbell forced to pay an exorbitant amount of money each month to the Templeton Cruz Foundation. However, and I'll give him credit where credit's due here, Campbell said, instead of paying you this, we will pay you double, on the condition that you return, carry EDW HQ to the heights it once was when you was the guest before, permanent co-host, what do you say? Anyway, last show, future Sanchez ladder match. I returned, I sat in the crowd amongst the people, but I was really overwhelmed with the way people see me in the crowd. I mean, obviously I was expecting the women to treat me like a rock star, obviously I was expecting the fanboys to treat me, to mark out for me, but it was the little children. They touched me, Karl. They touched in the toilets, they came up for autographs and they touched me. And at that moment, I realised, these people, they need me. They miss me. They love me, Karl. So I said, Mr. Campbell, count me in. Ergo, Temp's back, bitch.
Templeton Cruz's wonderful monologue aside, let's get down to the real reason we're here. We're here to preview EDW's next exciting extravaganza, which is live at the Hive on Friday, October the 18th. It's the Brass Ring Tournament, a one-night tournament where 8 of the finest individuals in EDW history will be taking part. Now, we'll get to the main event, EDW World Heavyweight Championship match, later on in the show, but first I'd like to take you to a special look at the 8 participants involved.
the infamous Jamie Future. Mark Morgan. The all-day star, Ryan Smile.
Every day I'm a star in the city.
Tommy Hayden. The EDW Open Champion, Michelangelo's David.
Why they call me Edwards? Because that's my name.
Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll all agree from that video introduction, this tournament is stacked. But it's not just star power alone that's the big thing with this tournament, it's the reward. Isn't that right, Templeton?
You are bang on the money, my son. Two things make a tournament: the participants and the prize. The prize, a shot at the world champion, whoever it may be, at the end of the year show, that in itself is an incredible prize. Brass ring tournament, appropriately named. But you look at the A guys in this tournament as well, and you know, put your bias aside, there is some incredible talent in there. The matches, all seven matches, are going to be immense.
It is indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and it can't be understated enough. Each individual is going to be putting their blood, their sweat and their tears into this tournament for the chance, just the chance, to wrestle for the EDW World Heavyweight Championship against whoever the champion may be on Friday the 13th of December at our big anniversary show. Now, as we say, this tournament is stacked. We've got former #1 contenders, former EDW Open champions, former EDW champions, and with that in mind, let's take a look at the brackets. Now, the first match in round one sees none other than the former EDW World Heavyweight Champion, Edwards, taking on his former best friend, better enemy, Tyler Hazard. Now, these are two men that have quite a history, don't they, Templeton?
You say friends, but friends in this business, I think we know better than that, Carl. Edwards, for me, when he's motivated, when he's channeled, he can be unstoppable. We've seen it the last 2 years at the end of the year show. If he actually won this tournament and got to fight for the world title at the end of the year show, I think he's unbeatable at the end of the year. However, that being said, he's lost to Sanchez, he's lost to Michelangelo's David, 2 shows in a row, and now he's fighting Tyler Hazard, who got in his head last show. Can Edwards focus? Well, we'll see.
And it's funny, you mentioned there about Edwards' 2 previous defeats, and they were pretty hard defeats to take. You're talking losing the EDW World Heavyweight Championship.
That was a killer.
That he'd fought so hard to get in the first place, to lose that to Joey Sanchez.
There was no shame in that, but it was a body blow, no doubt about it.
And then, as if things weren't bad enough, you've got the defeat to Michelangelo's David for the EDW Open Championship. And he's coming up against the man in Tyler Hazard, who, he's well rested, he's been out of the picture for a good year.
Rested or rusty? We'll see.
You could argue rusted, yeah. Ring rust is a big thing. I can speak from experience there. But by the same token,
You do look rusty.
by the same token, all that time away from the ring, he's had all that time to scout. Now, if he's done his homework, if he's prepared properly, this match really could be on a knife edge.
It's purely focus.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take you to the second match in round 1. A rematch from our last show in EDW. Squirt take on Ryan Smile. Now, last month it was a real close match. Could have gone either way. But on that occasion, Ryan Smile got the win. And I would like to pose this question to you, Templeton.
Temp, please.
Temp. With last month in mind, and Ryan Smile's victory, is that going to play a factor? Is that going to be the momentum that takes him through in the first round? Or would you argue that it's a tournament, it's one night, all bets are off?
You make a good point, Carl. Squirt has been so close over the last few months. In fact, he pushed Jamie Future, pound for pound the greatest wrestler in the EDW today of all time, maybe. Squirt pushed him to the limit, and Jamie used his experience and beat him. He pushed Ryan Smile to the limit last month. They were flipping, they were flopping, they were diving, going on all over the shop. It was an incredible match, and we have no reason to expect anything different. I think it's going to be even more so this time because there's more on the line. It's quite simple. Ryan Smile is a bit of a prima donna. We know this. It works for him, it works against him. A chip on your shoulder does go a long way in this business, I think. But you fight someone like Squirt and you overlook him, he'll beat you. One thing we say, guarantee this match will be excellent. It's going to be like Cirque du Soleil in a wrestling ring, with violence, with progression in the tournament on the line. Thumbs up, baby. Thumbs up.
Now let's take a look at match number 3. It's the former EDW Open Champion Mark Morgan against the current EDW Open Champion and the man who beat Morgan for the title, Michelangelo's David. Now, we spoke earlier about history between two individuals when we were talking about Edwards and Tyler Hazard. And these two men certainly have a history, don't they?
Absolutely. This match for me is probably the pick of the first round. For me, Michelangelo's David is a future world champion. John Chase, you have to respect. As the godfather of wrestling managers in this company, now retired, I am absolutely delighted to see someone... What is this? What is this? What is that? Shut your mouth, Carl. Sorry, I'm trying to be nice here. I've tried to be affable. I'm in the middle of a speech.
Well, I was actually going to encourage... I was just going to...
Michelangelo's David, for me, is a future world champion. With John Chase, with Davey and Vane, the whole package, you cannot deny they are on an incredible roll. Unbeaten with Chase at the helm, might just be the favourite in this tournament. There's so many good guys in this tournament. He's one of the favourites. If I had to pick a guy, it would definitely be, it's definitely one of the 8, but I just don't know who. Michelangelo's David, he's right up there. Mark Morgan, on the other hand, he's aggressive, he's intense. When he gets going, he's a whirling dervish. He takes a lot of stuff in, but again, similar to Edwards, what's his frame of mind? A couple of shows ago, Jamie Future cut his hair off. Quite frankly, he did him a favour. Mark Morgan, I think, needs to be angry. When he's fired up, when he's intense, he's dangerous. Will he be distracted? Will he be... One eye on hoping to get Jamie Future in a semi-final, which we see on the brackets could possibly happen if the stars align. If he's distracted on that, it may cost him. It may spur him on. You just don't know Morgan. He's volatile, and I think John Chase, love him, hate him, respect him, fear him, sexually intimidated by him, whatever. I think he's got a plan, and I fancy Michelangelo's David in this one.
Emotion or motivation? What's going to be the overriding factor?
Exactly.
If motivation plays the biggest factor, the chance to get Jamie Future in that second round, that's... No. If ever you needed something to light a fire under,
that's a spicy meatball, Carl.
Exactly. And now on to the final match of the first round. We have Jamie Future, the former EDW champion,
Former two-time EDW champion.
former two-time EDW,
The first ever EDW champion.
a man who we all know so much about, you especially, taking on what I would like to call the great unknown, taking on a man who we've only really seen wrestle one other time, and that's Tommy Hayden. Now, beat Davey and Vane in impressive fashion, but we don't really know that much about him, do we?
Speak for yourself, Carl. He may not know anything about Tommy Hayden, but I've seen him around the country, particularly up in Stoke where he's a regular, and the kid's got a lot of talent. I will give him that. Again, a bit of a pretty boy, bit of a rah-rah baby face, no one likes to see that. But he's got intensity. When he gets going, he's got a lot of aggression, but he's got a lot of talent, he's got a lot of heart. He's fighting Jamie Future. That's something you just don't do.
Now, if I can just pose this question to you.
Pose away.
You know Jamie Future better than anyone. Managed him as champion. Went on an incredible run with him. But I've got to ask, where's his head at right now?
Wow! If he wins the tournament and Joey Sanchez retains his world title, which we'll talk about later on, then Jamie isn't going to get a shot at the world title because, as we know, the ladder match was the last match between Sanchez and Future. They both agreed to it. So it is said, so it is done. That's not going to discourage Jamie, that's going to encourage him, because the chance to f*** up this whole tournament for Tom Campbell and EDW. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but bit of decorum.
Decorum, my arse. Jamie Future is either going to win this tournament to rub it in Tom Campbell's face, I said rub it, in Tom Campbell's face, completely mess up the end of the year plans, or he's going to win this tournament and he's going to cost Joey Sanchez the world title, and that completely null and void. Who cares about stipulations from the ladder match? Bye bye Joey Sanchez, hit the bricks you donkey faced retard. Tommy Hayden, it's an uphill struggle for him. I'm not gonna pretend to call this one down the middle. Me and Jamie go a long way back.
Come on, let's call it. Cut and dry. Who do you think's going to win the tournament?
Words of cheap Carl. Michelangelo David, he's got a lot of things going for him. He may well be the favourite. A tournament is as much about endurance and longevity as it is about one match ability. And I think with Chase, with Vane, if he gets lucky and the referees happen to be Matt Castle for one of his matches, he's going to take a lot of stopping. Jamie Future, you look at endurance and he may be the toughest individual in this tournament, and you might raise your eyebrows and wonder where I'm coming from with that, but you look at the beatings he's taken at the hands of Joey Sanchez, the hands of all the other guys, he just gets up, he just keeps getting up, he just gets up every single time until he can't get up anymore. And more than anyone else, for me, it's going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. Jamie's the man to beat.
Interesting thoughts, I mean.
What about you? You tell me.
No, I get where you're coming from.
So who are you thinking? Are you thinking? You're probably thinking Edwards, maybe. I guess being your boy, you go back.
Well, we do go back away. Don't get me wrong. And I think he's definitely one of the favourites. We've talked about his emotion, whether or not he can channel that properly, and it's the same for Morgan. Yep. Can he channel that emotion?
Emotional guys, aren't they?
They're
so emotional.
They are.
Use the head, boys. Use the head.
But the emotion's only going to be greater in a tournament like this, where so much is on the line, when there's such a big prize at stake. It's hard for me to make a call, but I think it will be one of those two, quite possibly.
Edwards or Morgan?
Edwards or Morgan.
Yeah.
I think the motivation to win the championship in itself is enough. The extra motivation of Edwards facing Tyler in the first round, the extra motivation of Morgan possibly facing Jamie, I'm going to lean towards either Edwards or Morgan. And I'm sorry folks at home, I am going to sit on the fence on that one. And
I'm excited, Carl!
I can tell.
Everyone loves like a tournament!
Settle down.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Templeton Cruise is excited. I'm excited. It's a massive 8-man tournament, one night. The winner gets a shot at the EDW World Heavyweight Championship at our big anniversary show at the end of the year on Friday the 13th of December. And the only place you can see this huge brass ring tournament is live at the Hive on Friday the 18th of October.
Something else that counts up in common with Jimmy Savile and Stuart Hall, not just the old radio hosting on the go. Let me tell you, I've done some work for the CIA over the last year or so, and
Well, you've seen what the 8 men are all fighting for on October the 18th. But what if the EDW champion himself, Joey Sanchez, the current holder of the title, last month, Jamie Future and Joey Sanchez embarked on an absolute war.
for 4.5 years, these two men have been at loggerheads, and every step of the way, The violence, the intensity, it's just escalated. Just when you thought, how on earth could anyone perceive it going up a notch from Last Man Standing? Ladder match. If you didn't see the match live, find a way to watch that match because it was incredible. It really was incredible. Both guys, you appreciated both guys at the end of that match.
Of course, it was an absolute classic.
Yeah.
And of course, in any war, there's winners, there's losers. And they say to the victor go the spoils. But Joey Sanchez didn't really have much time to savour those spoils.
No rest of the here.
Absolutely not. And despite overcoming all that, in the midst of his celebration, Joey was challenged to put his EDW World Heavyweight Championship on the line against former Joey star, now known as Joey Ozbourne. Now, you know this man very well.
Mm-hmm.
You managed him.
Yeah.
Former Open Champion.
Yeah. First ever Open Champion.
We here in EDW haven't seen him for close to a full year. Knowing him as you did, being his former manager, can you give the viewing public a bit of insight on the now Joey Ozbourne?
Well, quite frankly, Carl, no, I can't. I have this isn't a ruse. I have no idea what Ozbourne's been doing. What I will tell you though is, maybe aside from Joey Sanchez, no one in EDW is more driven by their own ego than Ozbourne. His ego motivates him, it drives him, it spurs him on. He looks fresh, he looks in great shape. Sanchez, we said before, coming off the ladder match, what kind of shape is he going to be in? Is this the absolute opportune time for Ozbourne to go for that title? But as I said, Sanchez, he's relentless, he's a beast himself. He's going to take some stopping. He's been on an incredible run. Credit where credit is due. Come back from his knee injury, last man standing, ladder match, wins the world title, defends the world title. This is a very interesting match, and I didn't christen Joey Star, now Ozbourne. I didn't christen him the Genocide Machine for no reason. He's an animal, and with that belt on the line, he'll stop at nothing.
Well, it's a real interesting point you raised there about whether or not this is just the perfect storm almost for Ozbourne. Coming back, possibly fresh. It's going to be a real tough ask for Sanchez coming off his war with Future.
Joey Ozbourne, as Joey Star, as Joey Ozbourne, as the Genocide Machine, has never, ever had a single opportunity at the world title. Not one. Right here, right now, Sanchez, Ozbourne, the battle of the two Joeys, there can be only one.
Then I go with the current champion.
Ooh, controversial.
Now,
Controversial.
you've heard my thoughts on it. You've heard Templeton Cruise's thoughts on it, along with many other things. But right now, let's take you to the thoughts of the two individuals involved. And I can assure you, there's plenty of needle in these comments.
What sets me apart from him? He's down here. I'm up here. I'm better than every single one of them. I'm better than every single fan that goes to EDW. I'm better than every single wrestler. I'm better looking than every single wrestler. But the one thing I have not done, and it eats me alive, is win the EDW World Heavyweight Championship.
What do I think of Joey Ozbourne? I think the guy is a f***ing idiot. Guy has no respect for the business, no respect for EDW.
All those people that I used as little pebbles 5 years ago, threw them, and it's finally my time to get what I deserve.
He's not good enough. He's never been good enough. When you got the likes of myself, Edwards, Jamie Future, Tommy Gunn, he doesn't match up.
And all the men want to be me, and all the women want to be with me.
Tiny Pecker,
I'm the best thing since the invention of the wheel.
he thinks that he's better than everyone else, but he can't lace my boots on my worst day.
When I win on October the 18th, the only place EDW are going to go is up.
Just the sheer sound of your little, your drony voice really does my head in. You're gonna put your tail between your legs and you're gonna right off.
I'm coming to do two things rip you apart and leave the new EDW World Heavyweight Champion.
EDW is my life. This belt is my life. 2.5 years it's taken me to get this back. I ain't dropping it. No way.
Well, there you have it, folks. Comments from the two men who are going to be battling it out for the richest prize in the industry, the EDW World Heavyweight Championship. And that's live at the Hive on Friday the 18th of October at the event that we've dubbed the Brass Ring Tournament.
Before we take this bad boy home, miss signals from producer or sound guy, or well, no, some flunky. I just want to reiterate, I'm very sorry for any mixed signals I may have given out during the show. In no way was I implying that Tom Campbell is a sex offender. I don't know how I can get you to believe me more than letting you look right into the soul of Templeton Cruise. These beautiful big blue eyes are the windows to my soul, and I bear it for you all today. In no way, in Temp we trust as God as my witness, in no way was I implying that Tom Campbell is a sex offender. Take this bitch home, Carl.
What was that?
Ride her into the night.
What the hell was that?
I said he's not a sex offender.
Do you want this to make air?
It's on the internet, Carl. Have you seen what's on the internet? There's all sorts.
We have a responsibility here. Ugh, forget it. Forget it.
Take it home,
Forget
Carl. Do your job.
The only thing you need to concern yourself with is on Friday, the 18th of October, live at the Hive, 8 of the finest wrestlers that EDW has to offer will all be taking part in our one-night only tournament to crown the new #1 contender to the EDW World Heavyweight Championship. And whoever wins that tournament is going to get their shot at that big end-of-year show on Friday, the 13th of December. We've got an EDW World Heavyweight title match as Joey Sanchez, fresh off his war with Jamie Future, takes on the returning Joey Ozbourne. It's all there. And the only way you're going to see it is to get yourself a ticket. Call the box office, get your ticket, call your friends, get them to get tickets. Get them early, folks. It's going to be packed. You've got to call that hotline, you've got to get your tickets. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Folks, the show's going to be so good, you're going to need a cigarette after.